call it 6:30. All right, well, let's do a quick pledge, I guess. We got a flag over there. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, let's go there. No scheduled speakers. One set of minutes to approve. That's the August 28th regular meeting minutes. And when they circulated once, I didn't see that there was any suggested changes, right?
Right.
All right. So I'll make a motion to accept the August 28th minutes as drafted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Minutes are good. Public comments. Oh, you have any comments, or you just here to?
I came to find out where I asked about internet service for Brookfield, because I'm on Curry's Way, and the only option that I seem to have is satellite, which is less than wonderful.
Yes.
So I was just curious. I know Dan Smiley, who also was moving in, or has moved in there, is looking for internet service also. So.
It is a hot topic as of late because just recently Charter Spectrum Communications has been asking for us to renew our franchise agreement with them because they're the current carrier. One of the things that we as a board have heard over the years, and we're hearing more and more now that people are expecting broadband and need for work and all sorts of stuff, that there are spots, large areas in town that don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
We have engaged a special attorney that specializes in communications things and so on, especially with cable. And we're trying to figure out a way to get the cable companies, if we renew down the road with Spectrum or we go a different route, how do we leverage that into getting almost complete coverage in town? We are working on it. So it's not the idea of how do we get it, it's how do we get the companies to finish the installation that we suspect should be there. Rich has been kind of taking the lead on that. Anything else want to add on that?
Well, what we did is, per the Laurie's recommendation, we signed an extension on the franchise agreement for 1 year to let us gather data and start a negotiation process with the cable company to see what it's going to take to expand the service. It's very, economically, they claim it's not economically feasible or viable for them to put capital in.
I'm sorry.
They say it's not economically feasible, or there's no return on the investment when they put the capital in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their beginning negotiating place. So now you got to say, well, how much does it cost, and how are we going to fund any gap? One way to look at it, if there's 25 customers per mile to put it in, we don't have 25 customers per mile. We have something less, but not zero.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a gap there that's got to be closed to make it feasible to get that cable put in. And what Brian says, we're working on it. We recognize it. It is important to a lot of people. So got to give us a couple of months, 6 months. But we hear you, believe me.
You said you've given them an extension for 1 year.
1 year so that we can get our...
Started when?
We just signed it this past couple, 3 weeks ago. What the lawyer suggests we do is gather data. We need a lot of data. Like, have you asked for service from Charter? They're supposed to keep all records of people that ask for service.
Okay, well, the only place I asked was, I checked with Fairpoint, because I knew
That's Charter.
there was Fairpoint on Curry's Way if we wanted landline.
You get DSL that way.
At the time, they said that they were not looking at new customers, and apparently they've been bought out since then. So, what company supplies?
Spectrum or Charter.
It's Spectrum.
And you really should call them and make an official request.
Okay.
And they're supposed to log all these requests to see what the demand looks like. We'll see what their records show.
Okay.
And Mr. Smiley should do the same thing. Everybody should. The more people that call and actually officially ask for it is important. They quoted me $10,000 to put it in. And not right yet.
The neighbors will have
That's more than my hotspot's costing me.
There you go.
Okay.
the density thing was from years ago. I mean, they go up so far and they stop. But
Mhm.
in this day and age, you know, rural areas are severely handicapped.
Yes,
It's,
and
everybody wants it and pretty much needs it, especially work from home and everything. And it's just, it's something that has to change. It's,
well, there's now in Drew Farm, which is where I live, there are now 5 houses that are occupied. So that's better than the 2 when we moved in a year ago. And there's another one that's under construction right now that will be occupied soon.
Yeah.
It stops at the Red Barn down here,
It stops what?
at the Red Barn. So you got all those houses on 109 up to you that also want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's not 25 a mile.
not quite. Our zoning is such that if every lot was built on, would get 25 a mile.
It's still a public utility, right?
No,
No.
that's the problem.
Oh,
It's a private company. They can decide it's not financially feasible. That's the problem. It's not like electricity.
right.
Okay, well, I'll keep my ears open for information on,
And please make an official request to them.
I'm sorry,
Make an official request.
I'll do that.
And get your neighbors, like you said,
Yeah.
more the better. That's the way the attorney described it. She's said, you know, you need to show that need and that market's there. While it's probably not going to be enough to sway them, it might be something we can use. You know,
Okay.
when we're trying to negotiate the best deal we can to get coverage everywhere, or as most as possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, I think the more people that mention it on the project that the planning board has going on for the town, looking at where we want the town to be in a few years, it would help too. Because the more people that I think mention it there will then give everyone in town an idea of how many people don't have it. I think that's going to be important to try and figure out.
That was the big hot button Thursday night.
Oh,
They counted them already. They started
Oh, they
counting
did?
them. And that was,
it has to be. It has to be.
I asked one person what the impact on school-age children are now. Do they have to work from home? Do they need internet to do classwork? And, yeah, the answer was yes.
Especially with blizzard bags, other stuff they just need to get on.
So for those families that have children that are in school and have to do work without the internet, it's, how do they do it?
Yeah.
The question, where does it end coming from Wolfboro?
At Pierce Camp, at the camp.
Nearly the line,
Yeah, it's a good
right
one.
around the corner, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do we figure? A few miles? Is that what you measured out?
We have from where it stops on 109 to the last house, which I think is Beeler's.
Yes, it is.
It's 2.5 miles of coverage we need there.
Yeah.
And it's a different company, but maybe we can approach them too. I think the lawyer will work with us on that. We don't care which company comes in.
Do you know how many lots are,
I'm sorry, what?
do you know how many lots make up Drew Farm?
Is there a test or something?
I think it's 14.
You're getting closer. I mean, Drew Farm is filling in.
That's a good load halfway, right?
Right.
Some of them have been purchased by people who are probably not going to be immediately developing them.
But regardless, if we say to them, there's 14 houses in that development going in, I mean, that adds, that's a big chunk that adds to the road
Mhm.
up to there, so.
And it's a double-edged sword trying to sell lots and sell property when people find out there's no cable there.
Yeah.
I've heard from some real estate agents that's a deal breaker. So the best we can say is stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.
We're trying to make some inroads here. All right, so no other public comments. We'll move on to treasurer.
Thank you. So I don't have too much tonight. I did receive an email that Frank Frazier would like to have Tom Beeler appointed as the new ZBA administrative assistant as an employee. So I'd like to see if you gentlemen would make a motion to do that, and then I'll follow up with Tom Beeler and get all the paperwork done.
All right, I'll make a motion, we hire Tom Beeler to be the ZBA assistant.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? None? All right, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So I'll get in touch with Tom Beeler and start the paperwork, the background checks, and
Who writes the letter, I forget, to you or Laurie?
I typically have written the letter.
So you wanna work on the planning board?
So,
Just send it.
so I will do that. I'll get the process started. I'll send him an email and I'll let Frank know that it's been approved and we're moving forward. Thank you. And other than that, I just have bills and the payroll checks.
Okay. Tax collector's not here. Admin assistant?
I don't think I have too much tonight, just to update that I sent that email out for the invite for the training for the website upgrade. I have received some feedback. I think we have 5 responses as of now for people planning to attend, so that's a start.
I saw you sent it to 19 people.
Did I miss someone?
I don't, should there be 20?
Oh, no, I just
No,
if you know.
So, of the 19, if you've only had 5 responses,
I know.
I'm not gonna buy or fix food for 19.
Right.
How about if I do 10 to
Well,
12?
it's a little early
It is early.
still.
You
So
And I
can fire
didn't
out a
respond.
reminder. All right, let's get a reminder out, see what kind of head count we get then, and give you a final count then.
Yeah,
Okay?
You have to be real clear, you're looking for a response. You were very gentle this time.
Can you put a read receipt on the email?
oh yeah, you could put a read
Put a
receipt.
read receipt on there and everything. So, then you know.
Yeah.
Then you say, I know you read it. You good?
I think so. I think that was it.
Okay. Planning board?
Yes, the planning board did have a special meeting on last Thursday, and they began to tally up the received master plan surveys, and we have them in a Google Doc, and we're going to review them next meeting, which is the 3rd Thursday at 6:30 p.m. here, and we got a lot of people that responded. Did you fill out your master plan survey?
No.
I believe it is accessible on the website.
I believe so.
Oh, you have no internet at all.
I'm sorry.
You have no internet at all.
I have hotspot that I use,
Okay.
limited so that I don't spend $15 a megabyte gig over.
Well, before you leave today, we can get you a master plan survey, and we
Okay.
can add you to the tally of that.
Okay.
It was one of the first few questions is internet. And we had a lot of those complaints, and I think we could use them to
I
actually,
think, as I remember, my wife and I looked at it, and we felt that we were a little bit new in Brookfield and would like to get to know Brookfield better before we start making statements that about what our likes and dislikes are. So we, at the time, asked. So I think I missed the internet question. So
well, I serve on the planning board, and I'm also your state representative, and you're certainly welcome to all the meetings in town. And the next one, I believe, is the planning board meeting for next
20th.
the 20th. So
Okay.
you're welcome to come there, and we can talk more about the town.
I threw one survey in your box too, by the way.
What's that?
I threw another survey in your box.
Oh, goodness. Thank you.
Code enforcement road agent is not here. We did speak with him briefly. Still going underway with road prep, and we have an agreement that paving will be done in October, a rough date of October, so we're gonna go with FR Carroll, and the contract will be put into my box for signature. Conservation, they didn't meet. Heritage.
So the Heritage Commission will be meeting, I think it's next week on Wednesday, the 19th, at the town offices at 7 p.m. We have a couple prospective new people that are interested in possibly joining the Heritage Commission. So that'll be good. And I had another person approach me tonight, so that's, well, it could be picking up. So that's excellent. We appreciate it. Table?
We need some grants. If we're gonna do plaster and paint and slide.
Yes,
So
we do.
some of the candidates, maybe,
Yes. We could write a grant.
Sheetrock.
whatever we do.
We won't be doing sheetrock in the townhouse. We can't.
Look at this place.
Come on.
That's another
All
meeting.
right,
That's another
Heritage.
meeting.
I could go on for days. We've been there talking about this place.
All right, did the cemetery trustees meet?
Yes.
I think we talked about
Yeah,
this
that
last
was
meeting.
Judy Lewis.
Yeah.
We talked
All
about
right,
it.
so, all right.
So, we don't have a meeting scheduled, but, we did move the flagpole hardware over to Craig's, and Roland and I still need to put a date together to get that set in concrete.
Any other boards or committees? Excuse me if it seems like I'm rushing the meeting along. I am. Because we have to go count votes at 7, so.
We're gonna count next door, count votes. We're gonna count votes next door at 7, that's why we're.
So that's why I'm kind of, usually we're not this rapid. All right, any old business? Now that the weather's cool, we're gonna take care of the attic in another weekend or so. And that'll be done. I'll give you guys a heads up.
Okay.
Any other old business?
Other than Craig's got some leads on a painter that we might have to, I think he's gonna send me an email. The painter that did the house down on Moose and Governors, we still wanna get it done if we can, right?
Yeah.
So the guy we had on the hook got off, huh?
He just
Disappeared.
just repeated calls to him and promises that just never came through. It doesn't bode well.
And they moved.
It's painters.
And the other thing I had was Moose Mountain Greenway is trying to buy a conservation easement of the Snow property. They had the presentation. They would like to know if the selectmen would write a letter saying we support the transaction. Costs us no money. They're going for some grant money. I suspect it's easier when they show that the town supports the transaction. So I make a motion that we write a letter supporting the transaction, Moose Mountain Greenway, conserving Snow's property.
Second.
Yeah, there's not gonna be any impact on the tax because it's all in current use, so to me it's a win-win, so. All right, I heard a second, whatever, so all in favor?
Aye.
Who's in draft letter? You know, did you attend?
No, I was gonna copy a skeleton to Laurie,
Okay.
because the Conservation Commission did their own already.
All right,
So
so-
we're gonna take something very similar, if
That's
not
fine.
exact.
That makes sense.
But now we approved it, so you can sign it for us.
Okay. Any other little business? Rich or Rick? New business security, I think we opted to scratch that. We have no non-public, no negative, but, any other public comments?
We've got a current use application here.
All right, that's in the mail, current use, you wanna read that one off? Just so
So the Benson property over on Life, I gotta read this. Oh, this is Tumbledown Dick Road.
Road, yeah.
This is a different place. Tumbledown Dick Road, 97 acres, map 38, lot 3, they want to put into current use.
But everything up there was in.
Well, this one wasn't. So, I'll make a motion that we accept the application.
It's been reviewed by the assessor, so I'll second that motion, yeah. Okay, any other discussion? You good? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have to sign two places? There's two places we have to sign.
No other mail yet, read. This is just some bills, right?
Bills.
We got the Carroll County annual report. It is also online. We'll leave the copy on the table outside in case someone wants to read it. If they borrow it, please bring it back.
Bills. Consolidated Communications for the internet for the town, $42.16. And then the bill for the phone bill for last month is $86.27. Salmon Press, we have two notices that were printed for $110. Wolfboro Meals on Wheels was approved for 2018 in the budget for $1,000. And Miss Laurie had the mail stuff. Who was this for?
Those are the registered letters for the new poll license language.
Hold on. So that came to $70.51. And then we have a bill from Tom Beeler for service for the administrative assistant to the ZBA for certified mailing and the cost of doing the minutes, and that's $102.70. A receipt for,
That's on the receipt, be careful, I just did that.
that's okay. A receipt today for food for the election workers, $43.57. The town of Wakefield is looking for the third quarter invoice at $88,770.81. And I usually will round that one way or the other and pay an even amount. The school district for September is $41,042. CPM home and property maintenance for the town cemetery mowing is $225. Are there more?
Looks like the grass is coming back.
So
It doesn't go anywhere, it's gone.
there also are other
It's good enough there.
bills. I'll have to add these in as well. So there's $30 from some of the trust funds that I pay and then request it from the trustees at the end. So there's a lot of individual bills there you'll need to approve. And the last one is for 10 construction for finished turn on Pike Brook, remove tree at turn around on Stoneham Road, grade and rake Cottle Hill, add gravel grade and apply dust control to Cedar Park, $6,142.50.
Can you just sign all these little ones?
Yeah,
You do?
because it's all for the different trust funds.
I didn't do that.
Well, you're coming back. I
Oh,
didn't do it either.
and that's it.
Make a motion, we accept the bills read on the record by Marilou.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
I'll let you know when that is.
Bills back. I got the current list in here, so it's not getting lost.
That goes back to, I guess, the assessor.
Yeah, I'm gonna assess the desk.
Put it in this box. His mailbox,
Okay.
I think. Might be fine. I guess Rod's coming in to do the MS1 this Friday.
Very good.
I haven't taken one of those seminars yet on tax setting. Figured we could take it. I don't know if anyone's taken it yet.
Not yet. All right, so there's nothing else?
That's it.
Meeting adjourned.
All right.